That's Anthony Garcia, the Mood Master. I'm Wallace Allen, and the name of the show is Empire Talks Back. We'll begin our program right after this short break.
It takes a village to help somebody get their diploma. Changes your whole life.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Greetings, I'm Wallace Allen. This is Empire Talks Back, and today's program is going to help you get your athletic son and daughter into the college that they have been dreaming of, or maybe not been dreaming of, but that's waiting for them and willing to make it possible for them to demonstrate their expertise. And I have with me today Mr. Darrell Reese and Mr. Charles Norman, and they have a program that can do all of that for you. Am I correct?
You are
I didn't get
correct.
the show mixed up, did I?
You got it.
Okay,
You got
right.
it. Right show.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about the program after you tell us a little bit about yourselves and why you put this program together.
Okay, well, my name is Darrell Reese. Born and raised in LA. I currently stay in Rancho Cucamonga. Been in the children's space and the education space, teaching after-school programs, camps for about over 20 years. I have a 9-year-old daughter as well right now that I'm actually raising and giving her some of the tools far as in regards to helping her with and helping parents with the recruiting process to take out the guesswork. I have 3 brothers. I went to Crenshaw High School, played under Coach Willie West, then went on to Cal State Fullerton, where I had a great time out there. And just from that, my mom been keeping kids since I was in elementary. So I've been around kids for quite some time. So now to be able to obviously have my own and be able to teach and educate the kids in space, I have a passion with just being able to teach kids, and coupled with the software of the developer Charles Norman that allow you to be able to match colleges based on your academic, and Charles will give a little bit more about it. It was like the perfect marriage for me. So what I like to do and what I'm trying to do with the software is go on a scholarship literacy speaking tour to the elementary, middle schools, and be able to talk about the process. And once they get in 10th grade, be able to put them into the software and be able to show them how to fish and how to be able to utilize the software to be able to make educated choices. So again, I'm very thankful, very grateful. And actually 9 years ago, I was here writing for the West Side Story newspaper. So,
yes, you were, and you still look like you're 19. I'm just amazed at how I can get so old and you guys stay so young. That's great. So primarily, you're helping young athletes and their parents get ready for college long before they're academically ready or before the years get there. So you start working with them in, what'd you say?
Ideally, 7th going to 8th grade.
Okay.
Middle school is that age where I think the process needs to begin, because if kids don't know and parents don't know and don't have a starting point, then they don't know where to go. So I'm able to, with my knowledge and with my education and being a student athlete myself and just being in the space, able to again give the scholarship literacy and just the knowledge and just the recruiting process to be recruited. And again, with the software, just allow me to step boldly into my vision and boldly into what I want to do to be able to share and be able to help families.
Your athletic career. What is your sport? What was your sport?
It was basketball.
Okay.
Again, I went to Crenshaw High School, 95, then I went to Cal State Fullerton.
How would this program have helped you at that point?
Wow, literally, it's easy enough for a 5-year-old to click punch. The developer Charles has got it so cookie cut and so robust. So to be able to put my academic information in and then be able to go to a region and pick a region I want to play, and then be able to go pick a division level of play and be able to hit a submit button, and now the algorithm brings up colleges that I academically qualify for that has that sport there, would have helped me and help others tremendously. So that I didn't have the opportunity to have a software growing up, for myself. I'm just highly passionate with being able to just share it and be able to just get it out there.
Very good. Mr. Norman.
Yes, sir.
Now, he's described a bit of the program. Tell us a little bit about you and how and why you developed this program to help athletes get into schools that they may not have even known about, that they would be happy to go to, get their financial aid, and actually be able to pursue their athletic career. What made you put the program together? How did you do that?
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, nobody's more surprised about how far this has come than I am. I'm a senior systems analyst for the city of LA. Been 35 years, so I'm getting ready to retire really soon.
Okay.
So this program actually came about because of my daughter. My daughter was a really good basketball player. I made her go to her local school instead of the school all the better players were going to, because when I was a kid, I was bused. My whole dream was my kid was going to ride her bike down the street and go to school. And so she went to that school. It wasn't a high power school, but she did really well her freshman year. And so by her sophomore year, everyone's telling me I need to put her in a travel club team, right? She needs to be playing at the highest level so these coaches can see her. And at the same time, the recession hit. This is back in 2008. And so I took a big pay cut. And at the same time, I'm trying to put her in this program, and it's about $3,000 to do this. And so I said, okay, it's my daughter. I'm going to have to do some sacrificing here, but I think we can pull it off.
That's what those camps, those
the travel
leagues
club programs. And remember, this is for the spring and summer.
Well,
because
we haven't started one of those.
I know, and they don't let everybody in, so you have to know someone. So I went to the tryouts. My daughter made the team. And so we're sitting, and I had to raise my hand because no one's asking questions. I said, well, how does it work? And he goes, what are you talking about? I said, well, how does the kid connect with the college? And he said, well, we're one of the best teams in the country. When we play, the college coach is going to be there, and they're going to see her play. And I said, well, that doesn't sound like a plan to me. I mean, I get what you're saying. So I said, so she has to be doing the right thing at the right moment from the right coach that needs exactly what she does. Whoa, that's kind of different, but what am I going to do?
What we're saying is that a coaches and scouts are going to come to the game,
right,
and that they happen to be there paying attention
right
at the time your daughter actually goes in, and they have to be paying attention when she
does what she does. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And most people, thanks to TV, we're looking for the replay.
Yeah, exactly. And the worst part is, what I learned later, and I didn't know at the time, was most of those coaches go to the game with a list. They came to see certain kids. That's why they would get up and go leave the gym when a game was over. You're like, well, hey, where are you going?
They saw the kid they came to see.
So anyway, so that sort of went, but I was going to do it anyway. And I went back to pick my daughter up a couple of days later at practice, and her head coach was saying, hey, Mr. Norton, because I'm usually a pretty easygoing guy. I've got this look on my face, obviously. And I explained the situation. He said, no, you're doing it all wrong. So he happened to have been the Citrus Junior College women's coach before he came to my daughter's high school. He said, no, you're doing it all wrong. So what he did was he had a database of all the college coaches and their information. He goes, if you do the mailing, I'll write a letter for her, and we'll put a CD of her games, a full game and highlight, and we put it in the envelope, we shipped it out. I did 50 just to try it.
Coach to coach.
It was $1.25. I remember each one. And so I did 50 of them, and all 50 came back to him. And I'm going, what just happened here? And they didn't all want her, but they wanted that connection with the high school coach. And so just fast forwarding, my daughter ended up getting to a great school, one that fit her personality, which I realized
Let's
again.
go back. You said all of those came back.
Yeah, to him, to the coach. They didn't come to me.
The request that he made, sending out information about your daughter, earned a response from each of the coaches that you sent that.
Oh, even better, I did it again. So I did 50 more. So I'm thinking, oh, maybe we got luck, because I'm just picking schools out. I don't even know she's academically qualified. I don't know anything else. I just know so it was 100 total, 100 came back. And so you would think some coaches transferred, went to another school. Anything could have happened in that time. So I knew this worked. So what I ended up doing was, instead of putting her on that $3,000 team, we put a team together. I got a bunch of other parents that had really good players. We put 9 kids together, and we went out on our own to the same circuits, and we weren't the top team, but we had great players, and everyone did the same thing I did. So all of those kids, we had 9 kids.
Another one of my crazy questions.
Go ahead.
As you put your own team together, and we laughingly said, oh, we should start our own. Was it $3,000 per kid in order to really make
Oh, no,
that
it ended up being $1,500, but what I did, it wasn't my team. We got the head coach of Ventura High School. Now look how far away that is, right? Ventura High School, I'm in Chino Hills. We had kids from LA. They only practice probably a third of the times the other teams that practice together, but we picked kids that fit their position. So everyone was hitting that court doing what they do best. And so that was our secret sauce. And then the other piece is, it's very hard to get the big kids, right? Because the big kids, are being recruited by all the teams, all the big name teams. But we did really well. But the beauty was those coaches followed us everywhere we went. We let them know where we were going.
Okay.
And so all of a sudden, all those girls got D1, and they all went D1 except for one. And she didn't get one, and we're not quite sure why. It could have been grades, could have been something else. But that taught me. So this is back in 2008. And fast forward, there was no way for me to write that application like that and be able to spread it out until 5 years in 2013 because of cloud services. Cloud services changed everything, and I got to work on it. And I started writing it, but I had 5 more years before I was going to retire, so I let other people use the software and try it out and put it under their name. So I did that for a while, and then last year I realized I was getting ready to retire. I didn't like the prices they were charging at the time, so I said, you know what, I can do this myself. And everyone's telling me what you can't do. So January of last year, I rewrote it from scratch. It took a whole year. I got a friend to help me with it, and January this year, I launched the new site, and it's been going pretty good since then.
What were your concerns as you put the software together? What is it that you were trying to accomplish to make it easier for a parent, make it more available to coaches? What were your concerns?
So here's the big thing as I went through this. Parents, you don't know what you don't know. So you're all relying on someone. That travel and club coach is telling you one thing, your trainer's telling you something different, the high school coach is telling you something different. So we had parents jumping around from high school to high school trying to find, because exposure is the key. And then parents that got too carried away, everybody called them crazy, the crazy parents.
When we say
right?
jumping from high school to high school, we
Right.
actually mean taking our kid out of one
Right.
school and putting them in another because we think that program and the
Right.
future of the child is better affected
Gives them
by
the
doing
best,
that.
better opportunity. And that's what a parent's supposed to do if you really think about it. And then the CIF was coming down on the parents. You had to sit out a year because they didn't want them jumping from school to school for sports. So it just was a bad situation to me. So I wanted to let the parents be able to enjoy the high school years by saying, hey, we got this. We know what schools we qualify for. We've already reached out. They're going to come out to us. So I wrote it from a parent's point of view. Almost everyone else in the field, and there are a lot of people in this field, they either played themselves and were frustrated, so they wrote something from their point of view, or you have somebody that is looking at it as a money-wise thing. It's a technical thing. It's
Yes.
a technical startup type thing. How much money can we make? It's a big area, but I did it from a parent's point of view. I would love for every parent to be able to relax and go to the game and don't have to say anything. My kid, just do what you do, and we're going to be fine, because you can get there through clubs, you can get there through high school, showcases, combines, viewing tournaments. There's a million ways to get there, but just relax. If you know where you're trying to get to, it makes it a lot easier. And there's coaches all over the country that are looking for kids, especially California kids.
Okay.
So my daughter ended up going, number one thing on our list was location. She's going to play in California. I'm going to be able to see her. She ends up in Connecticut, Sacred Heart University. Had a great career there.
All right.
They wanted her so badly, and the coach told me, he goes, if she comes here, she's going to graduate, I promise. And she did.
And that's what a parent really wants.
Yeah, and that's what it was all about. There's no too much money in women's pro basketball.
My
But-
goodness.
So that's where it came from.
Very good.
That's the bottom line for that is.
Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to let you actually tell us how this program works. And from what I've been able to see, it's really mind-boggling. Parents, you want to get your pen and paper so you can write some of this stuff down. But the big thing is you'll be able to get in touch with Mr. Norman after the program and Mr. Reese. So we'll take this break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. This is Empire Talks Back, and I'm still Wallace Allen, and that's still Mr. Charles Norman, and this is still Daryl Reese. What's different is that we're going to show you about the program and exactly how it works. This is a program that allows an athlete, a student athlete, to put in his qualifications and start picking schools from choices throughout the country, schools that have, well, let Mr. Norman tell us about that.
Oh, great. So instead of talking about it, I really wanted to show the parents. So you're a parent, you're sitting at home. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you exactly the software you'll be using yourself. And then you're going to tie back to your travel club coach or your high school coach so they can help you out. And I'll show you how all of that works together. So the first thing you would do on the site, once you signed up, this would be all your student detail information. And and ACT, SAT scores are there, and also any information about the NCAA eligibility centers, which most parents don't even know exist. They don't even sign their kids up because they don't even know that exists. Those are things we teach, and I'll show that also in a moment. And so over on this side, let's just get really quickly into how you would find a school that fits your student athlete. You add schools. And then we base it on your GPA, SAT, and ACT scores, because this is what the colleges do. And you notice we separate the scores, because that's also what colleges do. Different colleges are looking for different things. And so once you get those scores in, and you can edit these scores up to 5 times. So I'm going to edit this one because that's a really high score there for that SAT score.
And what is a high score and what is a medium
Well,
score?
an 800 is a top score. That's the perfect score. So I have this set at 750 because I was doing something for someone one time, showing them why some schools weren't showing up.
So what's a low score that still keeps people eligible and moving?
580,
Okay.
5 something.
About
Oh, it just
five,
bounced
yeah,
out of the
580.
system.
So at what
Hit your
point
phone.
does a parent get nervous when they hear that SAT score?
Well,
And what are the other scores?
the ACT score. So an ACT score, the average is between 18 and 22. And for an SAT, it's anywhere from 580 to as high as you can go. And that's where, but most people 580 to 700 is probably the range that you're going to get into. So let's go real quick. So I wasn't changing the score, but we'll just keep moving forward so we can, just for time's sake. And so the next thing you would do is select a sport. So and we have every single sport that there's an athletic scholarship opportunity.
Now you mentioned athletic scholarships opportunities, and you say that Division I schools have more opportunities for girls than they do for men.
And what I was talking about was full rides, which they call head count sports. And this is a misconception a lot of parents have.
Full ride scholarship.
Is that you're going to get a full ride. Like you'll hear that track and field kid down the street got a scholarship, but it most likely wasn't a full ride. So there's head count and there's equivalency. Head count sports are for girls, it's tennis, gymnastics, volleyball, and basketball. Those are the 4 sports. If you get an NCAA Division I scholarship, it's a full ride. Everything's paid for. For boys, it's only basketball and football. Those are the only 2 sports that they are considered head count. Every other sport is called an equivalency sport. And so they get a set amount of money, and however many kids they need to divide up to get that team together, they have to split those up. Now, it's not impossible for you to get a full ride in the other sports or at any other level, but it's tough because that coach doesn't want to give up a full ride.
A full ride.
Yes.
Is that a 4-year guarantee? What is that? What are the stipulations on a full ride?
And so that's been changed from year to year. It used to be year to year, but it really doesn't matter because the way the colleges have it set up right now is if you've done anything wrong on campus, and I don't know which college student hasn't done something silly on campus.
Well, I did. Well, that was off campus.
But what they can do is, because you sign a clause that you're going to be in your best behavior, so they can hold that over you at any time. So even if you got the full 4 years, which you can get, but that also locks you in. So there's a lot of touch and go, but it's really year to year that your scholarship's going to be renewed. They can give you a full 4-year setup, and it's room, board, whatever it costs for you to attend that school, plus room and board and meals is what they can give you. They can't give you any more. Now, a lot of parents don't know at NCAA Division III schools, so there's NCAA Division I, Division II, and Division III. NCAA Division IIIs don't give athletic scholarships at all. They give you academically and needs money, right? So, but they still can give you more money because they're not tied by only being able to give you the money that you need to go attend the school. They can give you past that if they wanted to. And then you have the NAIA schools. Everybody skips on NAIA schools. I don't know why. They're some of the best schools. They're just smaller schools, and a lot of people just haven't heard of them. And it's, in fact, here's a great tip for anybody that has a kid playing basketball or playing softball or baseball. NAIA actually has their own showcases. If you go to NAIAshowcase.com, next week in Orange County, they are having their own showcase. I think it costs $120. I think they're doing something for $99 right now. Go to that website, and I bet you most parents don't even know about it. The head coaches from the NAIA colleges will be there. The head coaches, not the assistant coaches, not the recruiting coaches. The head
Describe
coaches
some
will
of
be
the
there.
NAI colleges. So we'll
The
see
Claremont
different-
colleges,
Okay.
La Sierra, Cal Baptist.
The brain
those-
colleges.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the way I put
if
it.
we were to
Right.
associate
Yeah.
in one way or
Very
another, we
difficult
would,
to get into
Yeah,
some of those
yeah.
schools.
Totally.
But if you can get there, just imagine your future as you move out of there. Those people going to those schools are going on to do some great
So
things.
what do we have to have straight A's forever to get in those kind of classes?
Here's what I
is the
will
deal?
say. Have to have pretty good grades, but I would say for a athlete, which is going to be probably the exception for this, you're going to have the great scores. Your SAT, ACT scores, they won't play around on. They'll tell you what those need to be. But where you're going to make up for it is you're an athlete. You're bringing something else to the campus. If everybody on the campus is a 4.8 GPA, that's not a very interesting campus. They want a variety of kids there. So, and you're also bringing notoriety. If you guys do well in NAIA and you guys win some athletic championships, that's a great thing for the college. That brings more kids to that school instead of that other NAIA
And
school.
most parents are concerned about their kids completing school, getting and
Right.
graduating. There are some people who have expectations to take their kids professional.
Right.
And I guess that's what percentage of people that you're really talking to, and hopefully it's a small percentage because there's only a small percentage
Yeah,
who
it's
can go
1/10
Yeah.
of
There's
a
not room
percent.
for everybody.
And I say that, but I also say I never want to kill anybody's dream. If that's where you think you want to go for it. So, but at the same time, go ahead and get your education so you can watch your money. And when you finish, you can go into something else. So you want to combine those things. One of the things I've learned, I worked for the government for most of my life. When I started doing this software, I was really surprised about the amount of negativity about whether or not this was going to work, it was worthwhile. Because I had to put some money into this. And I come home from work and I'm sitting down and I'm
Still working?
yeah, I'm still working. And everybody's like, well, you're wasting time and it's never going to work and they're not going to let you.
We'll
So I
just
don't do
charge
that to
those people
anybody.
extra when they come.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
But so I will never, ever, ever discourage anybody from whatever your dream is, whatever it is, go for it because the more people that do that, the better.
I know people would like to be able to get walked through the program, but
Right.
there's elements of it that you can talk about and make it more interesting and available to them at another time. But talking through it, what actually makes this work? What are some of the things that you pair up to help find a school that a parent may have had no idea even existed that actually can embrace and embellish that child's education?
In fact, I'm going to show you right now. So right now, I'm going to just pick a basketball school, and I'm going to pick the Northeast. And then here's what we're going to do next. We're going to pick
Where
a
it's
level.
cold.
Where it's cold. My
Very
daughter ended up
cold.
going back there. She loved it. We went in the winter to visit. I thought that would definitely nix it, but no, she loved it out there. It was different. So let's say I picked a Division II school. And then now I'm going to hit search, and now my algorithm's going to take over. And so it's going to go and take your gender, your SAT, ACT scores, your GPA, the area of the country you're interested in, and the level you can play at. And I just gave you a list back right here. Now, because I have that 750, I just gave you all of these schools, and there's 55 schools. This is just in one area. And if most people look at this list, they've never heard of any of these schools. These schools are a mystery to them. So if you see blue over here, so I fixed it for the parents. You
So
don't
you've
even have
got
to
it
figure it out.
color-coded. Mhm.
Color-coded. Blue, your kid is academically in the top 25% of the kids that were accepted into that college
Could
the
you hit
previous
that
year.
logarithm
Algorithm.
and drop that 750 down
To a lower.
and see how many schools that makes a difference?
Okay,
Because we had
will do.
We had how many schools with the last one?
So
Yeah.
I'm going to drop this down to about a 580. That's a good score. So we can see some colors pop up here because things will change quickly. And this is a great tool for your kid to understand just
Well,
because
yeah,
you
because apparently
have
I
a
have
great.
a couple of kids there. So I
Yeah.
got the 750 kid, I got the 500 kid, and I got the.
Or you have the
absolute
500
genius who's
kid
trying
and he
to
thinks
do
he's
it.
got it made because
Yeah.
everybody's telling him how great he is. And so this is a reality check for them. So I'm going to do the same thing now. We're going to go back and pick basketball. So I haven't changed anything. We're going to stay in the Northeast. And I'm going to pick Division II. So you guys saw all blues before. Let's see what we get this time. And now you see a few greens popped up. So that means you're in the 50 to 75 percentile. If you see the white there, that just means that college, and there's a number of colleges across the country that don't use the SAT and ACT as a primary conduit for getting into that school. And if you see yellow, you're in the bottom 25%. And I'm sure there's a few here. There's a yellow right there. And so as a parent, this already saved you a bunch of money, right? Because you're going to be sending out applications anyway to colleges.
Applications
Yeah.
could cost anywhere from how much?
40 to 140.
40 to like,
It's just
I think the
all
Ivy
over the
League's like
place.
150, 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Ivy League.
Very
application.
expensive to do this. And so what you really want to do with this software, and I've thought of this for the parents, just hit this little sorting button and all your blues are at the top. These are your best choices. This is where you should start. And I didn't stop there. So the next thing I did, what is a parent going to do with this information? They're going to hit this detail button. And now I'm going to tell you what the fees are for that school. I'm going to tell you the in-state and out-of-state fees, just in case you didn't get a D1. This is a D2 school. You probably not get a full ride. I'll tell you where your scores fit. And do you need to go take it again? You saw green or yellow. What do I need to get to that higher score? I'm going to give you the coach's contact information. I'm going to give you a link to the school to go check for the majors.
How far in advance of graduation can they utilize this to help prepare for graduating?
Now, to me, I say you start in your 9th grade year if you're at a high school. You start in your 9th grade year.
So we don't really have SATs at that point.
No.
We don't have the number one scores that they're looking at.
Right.
But we do have some indicators that give us an idea that we can move in that direction.
And what you're really looking for is where do I need to be to get where I thought I wanted to go?
Okay.
I want to go to USC. I want to go to Notre Dame. I mean, maybe you're a good player, but take a look here. Those schools aren't showing up. One thing I didn't mention, if your SAT, ACTs, and GPA don't qualify, I don't show the school. So that's what I would get a lot of time. The parents are like, wait, where's this school? I know it's in the Northeast. So what are your grades? What is your GPA, SAT? And so I said, go change it and see what happens. And then the school pops up and they go, okay, you do have the schools in there.
We're running short on
Okay,
time.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, you're doing fine. What I want to not do is complete the show and not tell people how to be in touch with you, because this is an active program. There's much more that you're planning. You're planning to go out on tour to talk to parents, and from what you've displayed here now, we can see definitely there is a need for parents to have some expertise prior to them getting into actually in high school. Because at that point it appears that it may be really late and you're just going to be subject to whatever goes on, as opposed to being able to make the kind of choices you can make if you start at an early age here.
Well, just real quickly for the system, there are there are any high school coaches, period, that are interested in this for their team, for their school, athletic directors, just come to the website, AthleticSOS.com, and just hit demo, and it'll allow you to send me a
Somehow
message.
I just missed that when you gave the...
AthleticSOS.com.
I think that'll be right here. You guys should see that right here. Very good.
Club or travel team, same thing. We have a different program for them, but it works out. But what I added this year is a solo program. And so what we've done for your show, if they go to our website and click on Join Now, and if they hit, there's a thing called CID, and this types into Daryl. This is Daryl's idea. If they type in Empire for Empire Talks, we're giving a 50% discount. Just right off the bat. Done.
Hey, he's giving you 50%. That's how good he is.
Well, Daryl's giving it to you.
I'd be trying to talk to him about giving you 25 and giving me the other 25, but we're going to go past that. But I don't want you to miss the entrepreneurial opportunity. That's great.
Yeah.
No, that's great.
Absolutely. And so those are some of the things we're trying. We just want the parents to feel like they have a way to get to the next place. And I don't turn anyone down. I want to do one more thing here, because I just gave the 50% off, and we do give a money back guarantee. If you don't like the program, whatever reason, I'll give you money back, because I know how good it is and how worthwhile it is. But if you scroll all the way to the bottom, and this is just you, because I met you a few weeks ago and it was a holiday and you were in your office, and that kind of elevated me about what I'm trying to get done.
Well, you came down to my
I came down to your office, but it blew me away. I said, there's nobody down here but you. And that was pretty amazing. If you come down all the way to the bottom, it's something called Good Karma down here. You click on that on our website, it will allow you to go 3 days free. You can only see D3 schools, but you can use it anytime. So I added that just for you guys.
Now, where else could you come up with that?
And this is based on that. That really gave me a lot of inspiration. I said, man, it's a holiday. This guy's sitting in his office doing work, and we came down there, and that was a great thing. So I just wanted to throw that out.
Delighted to see the program.
Yeah, and again, this particular tool, like we said, being able to start as I shared in 8th grade, and being able to give them the literacy and help parents and players through the recruiting process, it allows for that 9th grader to utilize it as a motivational tool, because they do have the ability to raise their scores up and things of that nature.
Very good. What's your daughter's name?
Denye.
Denye, come here, please. Quickly, we're out of time. Come stand over here behind me. And I need you to look up. Show them big pretty eyes of yours. There she is. This is what keeps Daddy working, okay? And keeps him real proud about what he's doing. So we want to thank you for sharing your dad today. We want to thank you, my friend.
Pleasure.
Keep
Thank
up
you.
the good work.
I appreciate
Charles,
the opportunity.
God bless you.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank
and
you.
The good comedy. Empire Talks back. We love you. Thank you for the time that you spent with us, and we'll see you next time.